The end of the world came, and Lin Feng was betrayed by his wife. It was not until his death that he found out that his wife had kept a man in captivity at home for 5 years. Rebirth and return. Get unlimited storage space. In this life, Lin Feng only lives for himself, hoarding supplies and building a safe house. While others were killing each other for a bite, Lin Feng sat in a warm and safe room, holding a red wine glass and enjoying world-class cuisine. Chapter 1. Betrayal. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Dong, a dull sound, as if a heavy hammer had hit Lin Feng's head. He stumbled backwards and covered his head in pain. When he struggled to lift his head, the sight in front of him instantly stunned him. His wife, Zhao Ting, was a gentle and virtuous woman who had always had a harmonious relationship with him, standing in front of him at this moment, holding a baseball bat tightly in his hand, with a cold expression on his face. Her gaze lost its former tenderness, leaving only determination and coldness. You. This is. Lin Feng's voice trembled as he couldn't believe everything in front of him. However, what shocked him even more was still to come. The mirror hanging on the wall suddenly cracked a crack, and a tall and strong man holding a kitchen knife emerged from inside. He looked much taller than Lin Feng, with a fierce aura in his eyes. Zhao Ting snuggled up to the man like a little bird, her eyes filled with dependence and trust. Chang, we no longer have food. Now we have to kill him in order to have a chance to survive. Upon hearing these words, Lin Feng's heart sank completely to the bottom. He looked at the two people in front of him and felt an indescribable despair. He struggled several times, but couldn't stand up. Ting. Ting, who is he? What are you doing? Lin Feng's voice carried a hint of trembling and despair. He still can't believe everything in front of him. He thought they were the closest couple, but now it seems that everything is fake. Zhang Chang sneered and sneered. Lin Feng, haven't you understood yet? You're just a tool we use to make money. What? Lin Feng's heart trembled suddenly, he couldn't believe his ears. He always thought they were a happy family, but now it seems that he is just a pawn being exploited. Zhang Chang continued. However, I should still thank you for raising me for 5 years in vain. If it weren't for the lack of food, I would really be reluctant to kill you. Upon hearing these words, Lin Fengru was struck by 5 thunderbolts. He felt that his world had completely collapsed. 5 years, isn't that when he first married Zhao Ting? No wonder Zhao Ting has been unwilling to have a child, it turned out to be because of this reason. He felt his heart being fiercely torn apart, with pain and anger intertwined. The green hat he felt his dignity completely trampled upon. He hates himself for being too foolish to see Zhao Ting's true face earlier. Lin Feng slowly closed his eyes, his heart filled with despair and anger. If time could turn back, I would definitely not let you go. I want you to suffer all the torment and experience all the pain in the world. But now, he has accepted his fate. He knows he can't change the past, nor can he change the facts of the present. Zhang Chang was about to speak, but was stopped by Zhao Ting. Chang, stop talking nonsense to him, he's so hungry. Upon hearing this, Zhang Chang nodded lightly and waved the kitchen knife in his hand continuously. Pwai, pwai, these two sounds seemed to be the sound of a blade cutting through the body from the depths of hell, each knife deeply pierced into Lin Feng's skin, and blood gushed out like a liberated beast, dyed his clothes red and dripped onto the cold floor. He bit his lower lip tightly and didn't let out any screams. For Lin Feng, although the physical pain at this moment is intense, it is far less than the pain he bears in his soul. The pain of being betrayed by someone deeply loved, the coldness of despair towards humanity, like an invisible blade, piercing deep into his soul time and time again, causing him to feel unbearable pain. Perhaps due to excessive blood loss, Lin Feng's consciousness became increasingly blurred. His eyes gradually became dark, and the voice in his ears became increasingly distant. My body is getting colder bit by bit, as if being devoured by endless darkness. I don't know how long it took, but Lin Feng suddenly woke up. His heart was beating faster, his forehead was sweating profusely, and he couldn't tell where he was for a moment. I blinked hard and gradually adapted to the light in front of me. What caught the eye was the bright moon outside the window. What's going on? Didn't I get killed by that dog man and woman? Looking around, seeing the familiar wardrobe, TV, and mirror, he realized that this was indeed his bedroom. Is this a dream? Not right. He felt the change in temperature, no longer as cold and piercing as the end of the day. Am I reborn? He suppressed his surprise and looked at the desk calendar on the bedside table under the moonlight. May 1st, 2060. I have truly been reborn, returning to the 3 months before the end of the world. August 1st, 2060 will be a day of sudden global temperature drop. Haining, a city located in the south, will experience temperatures reaching -20 degrees Celsius overnight. The heavy snow will last for more than 10 days, covering all roads, and the temperature will continue to drop. This will not only lead to plant extinction, but also result in a human mortality rate of up to 90%. In that world where resources are scarce and rules collapse, people will do anything to survive. Anything can happen for the sake of stuttering. Even so, it cannot meet people's needs. Finally, people can only fight each other, and even witness the tragedy of cannibalism. It is precisely because of such an apocalyptic environment that Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang, a dog-like couple, have exposed their cruel and ruthless nature. Damn it, God has given me another chance to see how I can play with you guys. Lin Feng's eyes flickered with a cold light, and his heart was filled with the flames of determination and revenge. He knew very well that he had a chance to start over again, and this time he would never let those who betrayed him succeed again. What is the situation? Lin Feng suddenly felt a white light flickering deep in his brain. Concentrate your consciousness and explore the light, gradually revealing a wonderful space before your eyes. Is this a different space? The benefits after rebirth. I tried to manipulate it with my mind, but the slippers by the bed disappeared and were quietly placed in the space. With a second thought, the slippers returned to the ground. It's really heaven's help for me. Not only did it give me a rebirth, but it also gave me a different space. This makes it convenient for me to stock up on supplies. This had to make Lin Feng feel extremely excited. In the apocalypse, the alien space is undoubtedly a powerful artifact. If there was no such space, he would need to find a safe place specifically to build a warehouse for storing supplies. But in that way, not only can the safety of the warehouse not be fully guaranteed, but the heating of the warehouse is also a headache-inducing problem. Now, with the existence of alien spaces, these problems can be easily solved. He can retrieve the necessary supplies anytime and anywhere without worrying about any issues. Chapter 2. Chamber of Secrets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Creaking, a subtle sound shattered the tranquility of the bedroom. Lin Feng immediately looked alertly in the direction of the sound source, only to see a slight tremble coming from the mirror. He sneered inwardly, knowing that it was Zhao Ting's rendezvous with that wild man in the secret room. Burning with anger, Lin Feng clenched his fists and wished to rush in immediately, stabbing the dog man and woman. However, reason told him not to act impulsively. His current strength is not enough to confront that man, let alone they are still two people. Once you take action, if you can't handle it properly, you will be killed. Moreover, Lin Feng is also aware that even if he can successfully kill this dog man and woman, he cannot escape legal sanctions. He doesn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison after the end of the world. What he wants is to make this couple of dogs suffer and pay a painful price. Now, Lin Feng possesses the powerful artifact of the alien space, which allows him to stockpile enough supplies, to build an indestructible safe house for oneself. With these 2 points, he can make this couple of dogs suffer a lot. The mirror was slowly pushed away, and Zhao Ting cautiously walked to the bedside. After she got into the blanket, Lin Feng flipped over and suddenly spoke. "Did you go to the bathroom?" The sudden sound startled Zhao Ting and patted her chest, pretending to be calm. "Well, maybe I ate something bad and my stomach feels a bit uncomfortable." Zhao Ting appears calm on the surface, but her heart is as turbulent as waves. For the past 5 years, she has been adding sleeping pills to Lin Feng's milk every night. Lin Feng sleeps until dawn every day and has never made any mistakes. What happened today? Did he find something? With a feeling of unease, I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. Lin Feng was the same, his eyes fixed on the mirror on the wall, thinking about his next plan. The next day, Zhao Ting and Lin Feng both pretended to be normal without showing any abnormalities. After having a sumptuous breakfast prepared by Zhao Ting, Lin Feng went to work at the company as usual. Zhao Ting stood by the window, watching as Lin Feng's car slowly drove out of the community. Until his car disappeared from sight, she turned around and walked towards the secret room behind the mirror. The Chamber of Secrets was carefully crafted by Zhao Ting, and only she and Zhang Chang knew of its existence. She opened the door of the secret room and Zhang Chang lazily walked out. "Has that bastard left?" Zhao Ting nodded, closed the door, and turned to look at Zhang Chang. "Chang, last night when I came out of the secret room," Lin Feng suddenly woke up. Her voice trembled slightly, obviously still worried about what happened last night. Upon hearing this, Zhang Chang frowned. Did he say anything? Or was there anything different from usual? Zhao Ting pondered for a moment and shook her head. "That's not true, it's still the same as before." Zhang Chang let go and sneered. "Don't worry, no man would be indifferent if he found himself wearing a green hat. Give him an extra dose of sleeping pills tonight." Zhao Ting did not speak, but her worries did not diminish. She knew that once this secret was discovered by Lin Feng, they would lose their only source of income. She not only needs to support Zhang Chang, but also her elderly parents who need her support. All of this requires Lin Feng to pay for it. After arriving at the company, Lin Feng arrived at his own office. The secretary, wearing black silk and high heels as usual, brought him a cup of coffee. "Mr. Lin, do you need any other services for your coffee?" The words were full of teasing. Lin Feng took the coffee and his gaze casually swept over Li Mei's round and perky buttocks, causing a ripple to flash in his heart. He admitted that his former self was too foolish to be indifferent to such a beautiful and charming creature by his side. He took a light sip of coffee and a playful smile curved around his lips. Is any kind of service possible?" Upon hearing this, Li Mei was clearly taken aback. She repeatedly took the initiative to throw an olive branch at Lin Feng. But Lin Feng didn't react at all. "What's going on today? Are you going to accept me?" "Of course, I can do whatever Mr. Lin needs. Even now, I won't refuse." As she spoke, Li Mei took the initiative to sit on Lin Feng's lap. Lin Feng did not refuse, enjoying the softness on Li Mei's body. Lin Feng, as the vice president of an investment company, earns an annual salary of 1 million yuan and has countless people who have no one to embrace him. But he is very dedicated. After getting to know Zhao Ting, he has never had much contact with any woman. However, he has important things to do now and is not in the mood to enjoy Li Mei's service. It has to be said that Li Mei's figure is not comparable to Zhao Ting's, with a front convex and back curved shape, incredibly soft. Lin Feng stroked Li Mei's perky buttocks and said, "Well, I remember what you said. You go out first, I'll come to you when needed." "Okay, Mr. Lin, welcome anytime." After speaking, Li Mei walked out with a brisk pace. At this moment, she had been waiting for 2 years, and on her first day at the company, she was looking forward to having some stories with Lin Feng. "My wish is finally coming true." After Li Mei left the office, Lin Feng stood quietly in front of the French window, holding the cup of hot coffee in his hand. The end of the world is approaching, and the most important thing is safety and supplies. Firstly, he needs to build a safe house, a place that can resist external disturbances and provide shelter. Secondly, he needs a large amount of material reserves. Food, water, medicine, daily necessities. These are all essential. He plans to use his spatial capabilities to store these supplies, ensuring that there are enough resources to sustain survival in the apocalypse. However, all of this requires a significant amount of money to support. For Lin Feng, money is not a problem. As a financial expert, he walks around the stock market every day and has a keen insight into the direction of the market. He vividly remembers the direction of the stock market in the first 3 months of the apocalypse. He can utilize his professional knowledge and experience to obtain sufficient funds to support his preparation for the end of the world. 3 months is enough time for him to make all the preparations. The most important thing at present is to drive out Zhao Ting and her dog couple. I absolutely cannot tolerate them continuing to live in my home. Recalling the days spent with Zhao Ting in the past, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel a surge of anger and disgust. He has been taking care of a woman for 5 years with all his heart, yet she is so dirty. Not only that, but I also have to sell the house. This house is already full of bad luck. For Lin Feng, this home is no longer a warm harbor where he and Zhao Ting live together, but a place full of betrayal and painful memories. He wants to completely empty this house, sell it, and completely rid himself of the shadows of the past. Chapter 3. Alarm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After work, Lin Feng returned home and behaved very naturally, just like before. Husband, you're back. Are you tired today? Zhao Ting warmly welcomed her, with a sweet smile on her face, and carefully placed her slippers at Lin Feng's feet. However, this seemingly loving gesture appeared so false and disgusting in Lin Feng's eyes. For 5 years, every day is the same scene, and anyone who watches it will consider it a harmonious family. Lin Feng handed the briefcase to Zhao Ting and said calmly. Well, I'm a bit tired today. Maybe I didn't sleep well last night. This sentence made Zhao Ting's heart tighten suddenly. She couldn't help but wonder if Lin Feng had something in his words and deliberately said it like this. Has he already discovered something? She didn't dare to ask Lin Feng directly. If Lin Feng didn't know anything, wouldn't she have voluntarily exposed herself? In the following time, Zhao Ting remained confused and had burned her hands several times while cooking. She was filled with anxiety and unease, completely unable to concentrate. And Lin Feng sat on the sofa, staring intently at the direction of the stock market. He occasionally glanced at Zhao Ting in the kitchen, with a hint of cunning in his eyes. He knew what Zhao Ting was worried about, but he didn't point it out. The good play is about to be staged. The night was already deep, and Zhao Ting cautiously carried a glass of milk into Lin Feng's study. She deliberately increased the dosage of sleeping pills in the milk. Husband, after drinking milk, go to bed. Don't stay up too late, your body won't be able to handle it. Lin Feng raised his head, took the milk cup, and smiled as he said. Thank you, Tinger. I'm really a bit tired. After drinking this glass of milk, I'll go rest. However, just as the milk was about to touch Lin Feng's lips, he suddenly stopped. Well, by the way, you can go get the files from my briefcase. The stock market has been fluctuating a bit lately, and I need to take a closer look. Zhao Ting was stunned. She had originally thought that Lin Feng would drink that glass of milk without hesitation. However, now she had to follow Lin Feng's instructions and turn to the living room to retrieve the documents. When she returned to the study with the documents, she found that the cup was already empty. Zhao Ting's heart was flustered, she didn't know whether Lin Feng had drunk the glass of milk with sleeping pills. Husband, work can't be completed in a day. There's no need to work so hard, I'll feel sorry for you. Lin Feng put down the document in his hand, yawned, and kept blinking. Well, it seems like I really didn't sleep well last night. I was tired so early. Lin Feng stood up and stretched lazily. He walked up to Zhao Ting and gently hugged her waist. Let's go and sleep. Zhao Ting was caught off guard by Lin Feng's actions, but she obediently snuggled up in his arms. The two of them walked out of the study together and headed towards the bedroom. Not long after going to bed, Lin Feng's mouth emitted a faint snoring sound, but Zhao Ting still didn't relax her guard and waited for more than an hour. It wasn't until she saw that Lin Feng had no abnormalities that she let go of her worries. Zhao Ting chopped her hands and stomped her feet as she walked to the mirror and opened the secret room that belonged to him and Zhang Chang. As soon as I entered, I saw an angry expression on Zhang Chang's face. Why did you come in so late today? Say, did you sleep with him again? Zhao Ting was so frightened that she trembled. After all, she was Lin Feng's nominal wife. It must meet Lin Feng's physiological needs, but every time he is brutally ravaged by Zhang Chang. I didn't, I made sure he was asleep before daring to come in. Zhao Ting's tone had a crying tone, clearly resisting Zhang Chang's abuse of him. But Zhang Chang didn't care at all about Zhao Ting's feelings and pulled off her nightgown. Damn it, dare you argue with me? Believe it or not, I'll pull you out now and throw you in front of Lin Feng. Let it be a good day, but take care of a little white face at home. I only want temporary happiness, not the consequences. Zhao Ting regretted it. But what's the use of it? It's too late. Crunch, the door of the secret room was suddenly pushed open, and the dazzling light instantly illuminated the dimly lit room. Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang looked up in fear, and what caught their eyes was Lin Feng's proud smile. However, what frightened them even more was that behind Lin Feng stood two uniformed police officers. Lin Feng pointed at Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang, with a sense of revenge on his face, and said to the police. Officer, hurry up, catch them quickly. My wife is engaged in prostitution at home. I think this can be considered as killing one's family with righteousness. Can you give me some bonus? Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang were completely naked, in the midst of the most primitive sports, and were stunned by this sudden scene. They frantically searched for clothes, trying to cover up their embarrassment. Until the police approached them and solemnly ordered. According to the report, you are suspected of engaging in prostitution. Come with us now and go back for investigation. The two police officers were obviously well informed and did not show much surprise when faced with the scene in front of them. But Zhang Chang and Zhao Ting are completely different. They have never experienced such battles before. Feeling extremely flustered in my heart, I could only try to quickly put on my clothes. Zhang Chang attempted to explain to the police officer. Officer, listen to our explanation. The situation is not what you think. We are. However, before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the police officer. Don't talk nonsense. If you have anything to say, come back to the bureau and let's talk. When Zhao Ting was escorted by the police past Lin Feng, she suddenly lost control and rushed towards him, tears blurring her eyes. Husband, listen to my explanation. I was just momentarily confused, please forgive me. I dare not in the future, please believe me. However, Lin Feng was already prepared and his body kept retreating, avoiding Zhao Ting's touch. My lawyer will talk to you. Cold-hearted, heartless, with no room for mercy. As a witness, Lin Feng was also taken back to the police station. However, when Lin Feng arrived at the police station, his lawyer was already waiting at the door. This is a video of the entire incident. I'll have her leave the house clean, okay? After speaking, Lin Feng put the USB drive in his hand into the lawyer's hand. Don't worry, as long as there is sufficient evidence, I will definitely let her not get a penny. Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang had to truthfully explain the situation in order to avoid being imprisoned. Knowing the background, the police also knew that Lin Feng had intentionally done this. Using their hands to arrest this adulterous couple, from a sympathetic perspective, the police did not investigate too much. When Zhao Ting walked out of the police station, Lin Feng's lawyer walked up towards her. "Hello, I am Mr. Lin Feng's lawyer and he has entrusted everything to me. Tomorrow I will file a lawsuit with the court, as your infidelity during marriage has caused significant losses to my clients. You will bear all the consequences." Chapter 4. Divorce. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Ting stood at the entrance of the police station, with a pale face and a shaky body. She looked at the indifferent lawyer in front of her, and an unprecedented fear surged in her heart. She knew she had done something wrong, but she never thought the consequences would be so severe. What should I do?" Zhao Ting asked with a trembling voice. The lawyer did not answer her question, just handed her a document. "This is the divorce agreement, please sign it. Due to your infidelity during marriage, all your property will belong to Mr. Lin Feng, and you can only leave the house in your own right." Zhao Ting stared at the contents of the agreement with wide eyes, and a wave of despair surged in her heart. She knew she had no other way out and could only follow the lawyer's instructions. She shook her hands and signed her name, then handed the agreement to the lawyer. After receiving the agreement, the lawyer turned around and left, leaving Zhao Ting standing alone at the entrance of the police station. Zhao Ting looked at the lawyer's departing figure, her heart filled with regret and pain. Zhang Chang stared at Zhao Ting with a face full of pain and confusion. "Ting, how could you agree to divorce so easily? Haven't we always relied on Lin Feng, that unjust person, to live this kind of life? What should we do without him?" Zhao Ting closed her eyes and took a deep breath, her heart also filled with helplessness and despair. She certainly doesn't want a divorce, but Lin Feng has already prepared for it. Not only did he shoot that deadly video, but he also found a lawyer in advance. If she doesn't sign for divorce, Lin Feng will definitely sue her without hesitation. At that time, not only will she lose all her property, but she will also be required to compensate for mental damages. She couldn't bear such consequences at all. Zhao Ting gently caressed Zhang Chang's hand, tears flickering in her eyes. "Chang, I know we are facing difficulties now, but we have no other choice. Lin Feng has obtained all the evidence, and if we don't follow his requirements, the consequences will be unimaginable." Speaking like this, Zhao Ting's heart had already begun to despise Zhang Chang. He was a big man with no sense of responsibility and could not be compared to Lin Feng. But what else can we do? Let's accept our own choices. With nowhere to go, Zhao Ting had to take Zhang Chang back to her parents' house. Initially, Zhao Ting chose to marry Lin Feng in the same community to take care of her elderly parents. In the quiet of the night, Zhao Ting took a deep breath and gathered the courage to knock on her parents' door. Dang dang dang, in no time, the door slowly opened and Zhao Jiangwo wore a pajama, showing a surprised expression. He widened his eyes and watched as the two of them stood outside the door. Before they could speak, Zhao Jiangwo dragged them into the house, afraid of being seen by his neighbors. "How dare you? Come out together. Aren't you afraid of being discovered by Lin Feng?" Obviously, he and Zhao Ting's mother had long known about their daughter's adultery with Zhang Chang. "I just didn't expect them to appear together so openly." Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang lowered their heads and didn't say a word. Not good. Zhao Jiangwo felt a jolt in his heart. Having lived for over 60 years, he still had this kind of vision. "Did Lin Feng discover your situation?" Zhao Ting bit her lips and squeezed out a word from between her teeth. Upon hearing this answer, Zhao Jiangwo was immediately furious. He raised his hand and gave Zhao Ting a big slap, angrily cursing. "I've already asked you to part ways with him, but you just didn't listen. It's okay now, how can we live without Lin Feng?" Zhao Ting's mother, Li Huiwan, also rushed over upon hearing the sound and trembled with anger when she saw her daughter standing with Zhang Chang. She pointed at Zhao Ting and cursed. "You wave hoof, I'll beat you to death." Speaking, he punched and kicked Zhao Ting. They are all parasites who rely on the forest breeze to live, and have long been accustomed to that kind of stable and comfortable life. It's even more painful to let them rely on themselves now than to kill them. Zhao Ting and Zhang Chang sat opposite Zhao Jiangwo and his wife, and the room was filled with a heavy atmosphere. After a night of anger and blame, all four of them had calmed down and began to face reality, discussing countermeasures. Zhao Jiangwo was the first to speak up. Ting, we can't live without Lin Feng. Divorcing him is like cutting off all of our lives. Li Huiwan also added. Ting, it's not that we, as parents, want to interfere with your feelings, but reality is right in front of us, and you must consider your entire family. We all see how Lin Feng has treated you over the years, but he is sincere towards you. As long as you are willing to turn back, I believe he will still accept you. Zhang Chang listened silently on the side, with mixed feelings in his heart. If Zhao Ting chooses to remarry Lin Feng, she will definitely give up on him. So, if the problem with Zhao Ting's family has been solved, what else will he do? Plush Zhang Chang knelt in front of Zhao Ting and choked up. Ting, you can't just ignore me like this. Without you, I really don't know what to do. I can't even afford to eat. This scene once again ignited the suppressed anger in Zhao Jiangwo's heart. He widened his eyes and angrily rebuked Zhang Chang. You. This useless thing. If it weren't for you, how could my daughter divorce Lin Feng? You ruined the happiness of our whole family. Zhao Jiangwo was so angry that he trembled all over. He suddenly grabbed the crystal ashtray on the coffee table. Zhao Ting and Li Huiwan were so frightened that they screamed loudly when they saw this scene. Zhao Jiangwo let out a roar. I'll beat you to death, you bastard. Banging, the ashtray drew a parabolic trajectory and accurately hit Zhang Chang's head. Blood spurted out in an instant, and Zhang Chang let out a scream, his body weakly falling to the ground. His forehead was dripping with blood, and his consciousness gradually blurred. Zhao Ting and her mother rushed forward in panic, trying to help Zhang Chang up. Zhao Ting cried and shouted. Dad, how could you do this? How could you hit someone? Zhao Jiangwo also realized that he had gone too far, panting heavily and standing in place at a loss. Dad, don't be stunned, go to the hospital quickly. Zhao Jiangwo said with a worried expression. Taking him to the hospital. He's injured like this, he definitely needs a lot of money. We don't have any money. After speaking, Zhao Jiangwo covered his face with both hands and squatted on the ground. Zhao Ting covered the wound on Zhang Chang's head with her hand and said anxiously. Then we can't watch him die here either. Killing someone is illegal. Li Huiwan said. Take him to the hospital first, I'll go find Lin Feng now. Anyway, you can't let your father go to jail. After speaking, Li Huiwan hurriedly left the room. Zhao Ting didn't care much, so she picked up her phone and dialed the emergency number. However, when Li Huiwan arrived at Lin Feng's house, everyone was already empty. The property management told her that Lin Feng had already sold the house. Chapter 5. Buying a house. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Feng was lying on a comfortable large bed in a 5-star hotel, surrounded by his secretary. Li Mei. After a night of hard work, Lin Feng was not at all tired, but rather refreshed. Lin Feng feels that after being reborn, his physical fitness has greatly improved. Is this also a benefit of rebirth? Ding dong. The sound of the phone information prompt came on. It was a WeChat message sent by Zhao Ting. Zhao Ting has called him many times before, but he hasn't answered. Lin Feng, I have realized my mistake and I will never dare again. Can you please forgive me? Last night, my dad accidentally disabled Zhao Chang. We sold everything in our family and barely managed to make up for the medical expenses. We no longer have the money to compensate Zhang Chang. In order to prevent my father from going to jail, we can only take care of Zhang Chang for the latter half of his life. Lin Feng, for the sake of our relationship, please help me as long as you agree to remarry and compensate Zhang Chang with some money. I swear I won't have any further contact with him in the future. Lin Feng almost couldn't make a sound of joy after reading the information. He didn't expect such an interlude to happen again. Remarriage. Let me take the money. Really? It's just a dream. Muted the phone and threw it aside. Turning around, she hugged Li Mei, who was not an inch long. 3 days passed in an instant. Lin Feng has resigned from his job, and that salary is already a drop in the bucket for him. Selling tens of millions of villas, along with his previous savings, Lin Feng only spent 3 days flipping this amount of money in the stock market. There are already over 300 million. I took a taxi and returned to my original residential area. Why? Because he wants to buy a new house here. Otherwise, how can we retaliate against the Zhao Ting family? In the end of the world, ice and snow will cover all roads, and activities can be carried out through underground garages in the same community. Lin Feng came to a real estate agent outside the community. Mr. Lin, are you here again? Do you want to buy or sell a house today? The person who received him was Tang Weiwei, a beautiful salesperson who was selling his house a few days ago. Last time Lin Feng came to sell the house, she was very proactive, but Lin Feng did not make any response. Seeing Lin Feng again, Tang Weiwei was very happy and showed even more hospitality. Lin Feng nodded slightly and responded. Well, this time I'm buying a house in this community. Do you have any villas for sale? Upon hearing that Lin Feng wanted to buy a villa, Tang Weiwei became even happier. Last time she helped Lin Feng sell a villa, she received a commission of 60,000 yuan. If Lin Feng could buy a comfortable villa this time, her commission would definitely not be less than last time. Enthusiastically bring Lin Feng to the reception room. Mr. Lin, please wait a moment, I will help you check now. Lin Feng drank the coffee prepared by Tang Weiwei for him, his eyes constantly scanning Tang Weiwei's body. Although her figure is not as plump as Li Mei's, she has a symmetrical posture and every part is appropriate and beneficial. Tang Weiwei felt Lin Feng's gaze, but she didn't pay attention. Instead, she felt happy, which was exactly what she wanted. Mr. Lin, after investigation, we have found that currently only building 1 in our community has not been sold yet, but its price is indeed a bit high. Tang Weiwei spoke cautiously, feeling a bit scared in his heart. Since the completion of this community, Villa number 1 has been on sale, although many people came to visit, they eventually gave up the idea of buying because the price was too high. Lin Feng took the tablet handed over by Tang Weiwei and casually glanced at the detailed information of the villa. The total area is 1,200 square meters, divided into underground level 1 and above ground level 3. The negative level is directly connected to the underground parking lot of the community, which is crucial for Lin Feng. Is the price high? It doesn't matter anymore. After the end of the world, money is like waste paper, even if given away, no one wants it. Miss Tang, I'll take this villa. Tang Weiwei was stunned when he heard these words. She didn't expect Lin Feng to make such a decisive decision. After all, this villa is worth 80 million yuan. Okay, Mr. Lin, I will immediately handle the relevant procedures for you. Tang Weiwei quickly regained his senses and enthusiastically responded. She knew that this transaction would not only make her commission much richer, but also, more importantly, there are more opportunities to interact with Lin Feng. Due to Lin Feng's full payment, the process of buying the house went exceptionally smoothly. In less than an hour, Lin Feng bought a villa worth 80 million yuan. Not only did Tang Weiwei look at him with ambiguous eyes. Even the sales manager in his 40s kept flirting with Lin Feng. Tang Weiwei kept sending Lin Feng out of the door. Mr. Lin, if you need any help, feel free to contact me at any time. Don't be polite to me. Tang Weiwei's body was tightly pressed against Lin Feng, and the tempting body fragrance made Lin Feng feel relaxed and happy. Really? I need Miss Tang's help with something right now. Tang Weiwei was momentarily taken aback. Is this about to start? The efficiency of wealthy people's work is also too high. Okay, Mr. Lin, if you have anything, just let me know. Lin Feng smiled and said. It's like this, I need to buy some household items, but I'm completely clueless about them. I'm not sure if Miss Tang has time, please accompany me to make a purchase. Tang Weiwei couldn't have missed such a good opportunity and immediately agreed. No problem, I dare not say I am an expert in this area, but I still understand a lot. I'll take a leave of absence from the manager while you wait for me in the car. When Lin Feng and Tang Weiwei pushed 2 carts full of household items back to the community, it immediately caught the attention of many neighbors. After all, Lin Feng has lived here for 5 years and many people know him. Oh, Xiaolin, what are you doing? You've bought so many things. Yeah, these are all high-end bedding, they shouldn't be a new couple, right? Haha, you can really make a scene. If old Zhao hears this, we'll have to fight against you. Lin Feng ignored the gossip of these neighbors. Lin Feng's past life experiences have made him deeply aware of the danger in people's hearts. In this life, he will no longer show mercy to anyone. After the end of the world, these neighbors will all become his sacrificial victims to pass the time. However, the direction of Lin Feng and Tang Weiwei's journey also caught the attention of the neighbors. That's not right, isn't he living in a row? Why did he walk towards Villa 1? Yeah, did you go to that woman's house? Look, I'll just say, this kid must have a new crush. Not good, I need to hurry up and notify Mr. Zhao. Someone even followed behind Lin Feng and Tang Weiwei until they walked into Villa 1. Subsequently, various rumors quickly spread throughout the community. Chapter 6. Visiting the door. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Li Huiwan took the phone handed over by Zhao Jiangwo and saw the photo at a glance. In the photo, Lin Fengzheng and Tang Weiwei walked into Villa 1 together, their figures appearing particularly intimate. Is this impossible? I only heard yesterday that Lin Feng and his daughter divorced, and today there is news that he is with another woman, which she cannot accept. If Lin Feng really found another woman, Zhao Ting would not be able to remarry Lin Feng. Lao Zhao, what do you think we should do? How could Lin Feng treat our family like this? Zhao Jiangwo remained silent for a while before slowly speaking up. We need to hurry up and call out Tingting as soon as possible. Let's go find Lin Feng together and have him drive that fox spirit out. Villa 1 belongs to us. When Zhao Ting saw the photo in Zhao Jiangwo's hand, she instantly felt a sense of powerlessness surging in her heart. The Tang Weiwei in that photo, both in terms of figure and appearance, makes her feel inferior. She knew very well that she had no advantage in making Lin Feng give up Tang Weiwei and choose her. Zhao Ting had mixed feelings in her heart, and she understood her situation. Lin Feng is the only life-saving straw for their family and their only hope for getting out of trouble. If Lin Feng doesn't help them, they will have to take care of that useless Zhang Chang for a lifetime. Zhao Ting followed behind Zhao Jiangwo and Li Huiwan, walking towards Villa 1. Oh, isn't this Lao Zhao? Congratulations, you found a good son.in.law and bought the Lu Wang from our community. Yeah. It's because Lao Zhao is lucky. When you move, be sure to notify us. Right, but Lao Zhao, you need to be more careful. This man, once he has money, it's easy for him to go bad. Along the way, neighbors occasionally greeted them, but every sentence was full of irony and ridicule. Zhao Jiangwo and the 3 remained silent. For them, these words were like sharp knives, piercing their hearts. The neighbors also noticed that the expressions of the 3 were not right, and a few kind-hearted people slowly followed behind them, preparing to watch the good play. Bang bang bang. The sudden knocking on the door shattered the warm dinner atmosphere that Lin Feng and Tang Weiwei were enjoying. Lin Feng frowned slightly as he put down his wine glass. Standing up, I had already guessed who the unwelcome guest outside the door was. It seems that the news of me going home with Tang Weiwei has already reached the ears of Zhao Ting's family. Lin Feng's mouth curled up with a cold smile, which he deliberately did. What he wants is to make Zhao Ting's family feel envious, jealous, and regretful, let them know what a precious thing they have lost. He tidied up his suit, took a deep breath, and slowly walked towards the door of the villa. Opening the door, Zhao Jiangwo stood outside with a grim face, staring angrily at him. "Let's talk first." Zhao Jiangwo said stubbornly. Of course he doesn't want his neighbors to see a joke. After all, in their eyes, Lin Feng has always been the son-in-law of their family. However, Lin Feng stood still, making it difficult for him to make any progress. "Let's just say it here, I don't think there's anything we need to avoid discussing neighbors' topics." Zhao Jiangwo was angered by Lin Feng's attitude, and he widened his eyes, glaring angrily at Lin Feng. "What do you mean? Do you want us to argue loudly here and let everyone know about our family's ugly situation?" Lin Feng remained unmoved and smiled faintly. "You're wrong. This is not an ugly thing, but the truth. I believe the neighbors also want to know the truth of the matter. And I don't think there's anything we can argue about between us. You have lost the qualification to negotiate with me." Zhao Jiangwo's face turned red with anger at Lin Feng's words, but he couldn't refute them. No longer caring about face issues, speak up in public. "Okay, since you said that, let's make it clear here. We hope you can remarry Tingting and continue to support our family." Zhao Jiangwo spoke confidently, thinking that Lin Feng was the good son-in-law who had been at his mercy before. This news exploded like a heavy bomb in the crowd, causing a huge uproar. Everyone immediately whispered and discussed, as if it was a carefully choreographed drama, and they were the audience below. "Divorced. Alright, my daughter is still single. As long as she marries Lin Feng, not everyone can move into the big villa." Some aunties and uncles stared at Lin Feng with keen eyes, as if looking at a piece of fat. My mind was calculating my own little nine. Lin Feng stood in the crowd, facing the shameless behavior of the Zhao family, his face becoming increasingly gloomy. He never expected the Zhao family to be so shameless that they dared to make such absurd demands in such an occasion. He sneered and mercilessly exposed the ugly face of the Zhao family. "I raised your family for 5 years, eating and using mine. Have your family made any money in the past 5 years? And then? What did you give me? Zhao Ting cheated during her marriage and raised a man at home for 5 years. Now you still have the face to ask me to remarry her and let me continue to support you. Do you think I'm an idiot?" As soon as Lin Feng finished speaking, the scene immediately fell into silence. Everyone's gaze focused on Zhao Ting, her face instantly turning extremely pale, as if all the blood had been drained. This plot is too bloody, as if it only appears in TV dramas. Surprisingly, it actually appeared in reality, and everyone felt a shock and disbelief. Lin Feng's words were like a sharp knife, piercing directly into the heart of the Zhao family. I didn't expect Lin Feng to disregard his face and expose the scandal in public. Their faces turned extremely ugly, as if someone had slapped them loudly in public. Zhao Ting suddenly pushed away Zhao Jiangwo, who was blocking in front of her, and knelt down in front of Lin Feng with a thud. Her voice had a crying tone, pleading. "Lin Feng, please forgive me this time. I won't dare again in the future. Without you, our family wouldn't be able to survive." Seeing that a tough attitude didn't work, Li Huiwan also changed her strategy. She knelt down on the ground with Zhao Ting, pleading in tears. "Yeah, Lin Feng, your father has already disabled Zhang Cheng to vent his anger on you. Please forgive Tingting. If you don't take the money, we'll have to spend our entire lives raising that useless person. You don't want to watch Tingting suffer after all these years of relationship." Faced with this sudden change, Lin Feng did not show any surprised expression. Chapter 7. Disguising people. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. He calmly took a step back and waved his hand towards the back. Tang Weiwei immediately walked elegantly to Lin Feng's side. Lin Feng gently hugged Tang Weiwei's waist, with a clear hint of mockery in his voice. It's really ridiculous. You still want me to pay, you think too much of yourself. Open your eyes wide and see, is the woman beside me that Zhao Ting can compare to? Tang Weiwei snuggled up to Lin Feng very cooperatively, like a gentle little cat. Zhao Ting's hope was completely shattered as she watched the scene before her. She sat weakly on the ground, knowing that Lin Feng was right. She had lost the qualification to demand anything from him. However, Zhao Jiangwo became furious. He waved his fist and shouted angrily. Don't talk nonsense to him, let's go sue him and say. He abandoned his wife with hair tied and kept fox spirits outside. However, as soon as he finished speaking, everyone around him looked at him like a fool. They secretly shook their heads and felt extremely contemptuous of Zhao Jiangwo's behavior. Your daughter had an affair before, and now that she's divorced, you still have to sue her. This is simply shameless. Faced with Zhao Jiangwo's unreasonable threat, Lin Feng just smiled coldly. This is just the beginning, the best part is still to come. After speaking, Lin Feng hugged Tang Weiwei and walked towards the villa. Upon hearing Lin Feng's words, Zhao Jiangwo's face instantly turned ugly. He widened his eyes and angrily questioned. What? What do you mean? Lin Feng didn't stop his steps and turned to look at Zhao Jiangwo, with a cold smile on his lips. You will soon know. Zhao Jiangwo was completely angered by Lin Feng's attitude. Don't think money is nothing. I will make you regret it. Seeing that Lin Feng had returned to the villa, Li Huiwan immediately told Zhao Jiangwo. Old man, let's go, don't embarrass yourself here. Zhao Jiangwo shook off Li Huijuan's hand and angrily said. Damn it, is face important or life important? Ting Ting, go get me a plastic surgery right away. It's bigger than that fox spirit's chest and buttocks. Get Lin Feng back from me. Zhao Jiangwo's words shocked and unbelievable everyone present. His anger and unwillingness had reached an almost insane level, completely losing his sanity. However, his behavior will only make their family more conspicuous in front of everyone. Zhao Ting silently lowered her head. Plastic surgery. I also want to, that would require money. The next day, after seeing off Tang Weiwei, Lin Feng, driving in his own car, he arrived at the famous Qiangxing Security Company in Haining City. He chose this place because in his past work, he has repeatedly hired bodyguards for the chairman at Qiangxing Security, and has high recognition for his service and strength. Qiangxing Security Company not only focuses on providing bodyguard services, we have also ventured into numerous security-related businesses, such as renovating vehicles, houses, ships, etc., to provide customers with comprehensive security guarantees. Lin Feng was familiar with this place, and the front desk staff recognized him at a glance and warmly led him to the general manager's office. Aha, what brought Mr. Lin here today? Upon seeing Lin Feng, General Manager Gao Gang immediately stood up and warmly welcomed him. Lin Feng chuckled and waved his hand, saying, Mr. Gao, don't make fun of me anymore. I have resigned and now I am just an idle person. Upon hearing this, Gao Gang showed a puzzled expression and asked with concern. What's going on? Did something happen? Lin Feng waved his hand and his expression became serious. I won't mention it, I always have something important to trouble you when I come to see Gao today. Gao Gang immediately responded. Cough, it's not troublesome. If there's anything, just say it. Lin Feng took a sip of tea and said slowly. It's like this, I need you to build a safe house for me. The one with the highest level can withstand any natural disaster. Upon hearing these words, Gao Gang's gaze immediately became serious. Although to outsiders, this statement may seem like a joke, as no one would believe in the so-called end of the world. But for security industry experts like him, this is a serious need. The wealthiest and most powerful people in this world are often the ones who fear death the most. They are willing to spend huge amounts of money to ensure their safety, which is not uncommon. Some people may be really worried about encountering large-scale natural disasters, while others hope to add some sense of security to themselves because they have too many enemies in their daily lives. Therefore, Jiangxing Security Company has launched the business of Doomsday Safe House in response to this market demand. I just didn't expect Lin Feng to have such a demand. A top-level safe house is worth no less than 100 yuan banknote of the same weight. Thinking of this, Gao Gang showed a puzzled expression and said, "Brother, I didn't mean to look down on you. The highest level of safe housing requires at least some money. I don't know you." Lin Feng knew what Gao Gang was worried about and immediately replied. "Mr. Gao, rest assured that money is not a problem, but we must ensure the construction period." Gao Gang knows that Lin Feng is not someone who talks nonsense. Since he said there is no problem, it must be no problem. Ask. How long is your deadline? Lin Feng extended 2 fingers and said. 2 months. Although there are still 3 months until the end of the world, Lin Feng had to shorten the time for building a safe house in order to prevent unexpected situations. Gao Gang took a cold breath and pondered for a moment before saying. 2 months, time is indeed a bit tight. However, since you have spoken up, brother, I will definitely complete the task within 2 months. Subsequently, Gao Gang enthusiastically asked his assistant to bring the tablet. Sitting side by side with Lin Feng, we carefully selected every material needed for the safe house. In the selection of materials for walls, ceilings, and floors, Lin Feng exhibits extremely high requirements. Decided to use a special alloy with a thickness of 30 centimeters. This alloy material not only has extraordinary strength, but its lightweight characteristics are also impressive. This aviation-grade special alloy weighs only 1/3 of traditional steel, but its strength is as high as 10 times that of precision steel. Using it to build a safe house can not only perfectly integrate into the villa structure, but also have no need to worry about load-bearing issues. As an important part of a safe house, the selection of materials for windows cannot be ignored. Selected the most advanced bulletproof glass in the world today. This type of glass can withstand multiple caliber bullets and explosive impacts, providing you with indestructible protection even in the harshest environments. Chapter 8. Building a Safe House. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition to physical protection, Lin Feng also pays special attention to the comfort of the living environment. Therefore, advanced air filtration devices have been installed in the selection of ventilation systems. This filtration system can effectively remove harmful substances from the air, ensuring that fresh and pure air can be breathed at any time. Considering the issue of heating in the apocalyptic era, Lin Feng proposed installing a fireplace in a safe house. The fireplace not only provides a warm heating effect, but also adds a warm atmosphere indoors. We will choose an efficient and environmentally friendly fireplace to ensure a comfortable living environment in any weather. In order to comprehensively monitor the situation inside and outside the safe house, they also chose an advanced monitoring system. This system has a highly intelligent feature, which can capture and analyze any abnormal dynamics in real time, ensuring your safety is foolproof. Finally, they are equally uncompromising in the selection of materials for the door. We have selected an anti-theft door made of the same material as the bank vault. This type of door is strong enough to withstand the impact of small bombs, providing a solid defense line for the safe house. The issue of the safe house has always been pressing on Wang Feng's heart like a giant rock. Now that it has finally been implemented, he feels that the burden on his shoulders has been lightened a lot. With this sturdy safe haven, he has at least gained more confidence when facing unknown risks. After bidding farewell to Gao Gang, Lin Feng's mood became particularly relaxed as he slowly drove back to his own community. As soon as Lin Feng stopped the car, he noticed a dazzling scene before his eyes. A perfectly curvy woman is bending down to check the condition of a Porsche car, her long hair casually draped over her shoulders, swaying gently with her movements. The rounded upturned buttocks are vividly displayed under the outline of tight pants, emitting an irresistible charm. Who is this? The neighbor next door. Lin Feng secretly guessed in his heart, his gaze involuntarily drawn. Having such a beautiful female neighbor is truly pleasing to the eye. Lin Feng couldn't help but take 2 more glances and secretly exclaim in his heart. Just as Lin Feng was intoxicated by the beautiful scenery, the woman seemed to notice his gaze and slowly turned around. Lin Feng quickly withdrew his gaze, smiled awkwardly, and walked towards home. However, just as he was about to turn around and leave, the woman called out to him. "Hello sir, may I trouble you for a favor?" Lin Feng turned around and pointed to his nose, asking in confusion. "Are you talking to me?" The woman nodded and showed an apologetic smile. Lin Feng finally saw her appearance and figure clearly, with a typical imperial sister style, and a heroic aura between her eyebrows, which was very tempting. The woman introduced herself. Her name is Sun Si, and she lives in Villa 2 next to Lin Feng. Her car tire suddenly ran out of air, and she was in a hurry to go to the hospital for surgery, so she wanted Lin Feng to help change the tire. After understanding the situation, Lin Feng walked up to the car to check the situation, then she shook her head helplessly. "Dr. Sun, it's not that I don't want to help you. Your car doesn't even have a spare tire, so you can only call for help." Upon hearing this, Sun Si's face showed an anxious expression. "What should I do? The patient is still waiting for me to perform the surgery in the operating room." Lin Feng looked at Sun Si's anxious expression and pondered for a moment. "Well, let's go ahead and drive my car. Anyway, I don't have anything important to do." Upon hearing this, Sun Si looked gratefully at Lin Feng. "Thank you so much, I will come back as soon as possible." This little thing, Lin Feng didn't even take it to heart. It's just a car. With his current conditions, he can buy a new car at any time. Evening. Due to Sun Si driving his car to the hospital, Lin Feng had to make an appointment with Li Mei to have dinner at the newly opened Thai restaurant at the entrance of the community. Lin Feng is quite satisfied with this former female secretary. Li Mei not only has a tall and symmetrical figure, but her appearance is also impeccable. Even more rare is her performance in bed, which always satisfies Lin Feng. The two walked into the restaurant side by side, and suddenly there was a sound of footsteps coming from the door. Looking up, I saw 5 or 6 women walking towards me, one of whom was actually Tang Weiwei. Lin Feng frowned slightly, but soon regained his composure. Having experienced the baptism of the apocalypse, his heart had already become as cold as steel. In this world, women are just brief pleasures and play for him. He is well aware of the complexity of human nature, and his brothers can kill each other for a bag of instant noodles, couples can betray each other for a piece of bread. Emotions. In Lin Feng's view, it was just an elusive thing that could not be exchanged for tangible food and survival. Although he is an orphan, he understands that in this world, only the love of parents is selfless and unrequited. Tang Weiwei also inadvertently saw Lin Feng and Li Mei beside him. She noticed that Li Mei had a hot figure and outstanding temperament. However, Tang Weiwei did not show any signs of dissatisfaction or jealousy. "Mr. Lin, is this your girlfriend? She looks really beautiful." Lin Fengji was not embarrassed and said. "She is my secretary, Li Mei. We were planning to come and have something to eat. Have you just finished eating? Do you want to have 2 more drinks?" Tang Weiwei responded immediately after listening. "Okay, but your secretary won't be angry, will she?" She deliberately emphasized the tone of the words. Secretary Li Mei is not a scheming woman. She is aware of her position and Lin Feng's needs. Between money and fame, she values the former more. Therefore, when Tang Weiwei mentioned secretary, she did not flinch or feel uneasy. On the contrary, she tightly embraced Lin Feng's arm. "I don't care, as long as I can make Mr. Lin happy." Subsequently, Tang Weiwei spoke to the people around him and followed Lin Feng and Li Mei into the private room. As the saying goes, no coincidence can make a book. At this moment, Zhao Ting is spitting bitterness with her best friend in this restaurant. "Hey, isn't that your ex-husband Lin Feng? Who are those two women next to him?" Sun Yu is a perfect green tea bitch, with a much higher appearance than Zhao Ting. Living in the same community as Zhao Ting, I was particularly shocked to learn about her situation. At first, she thought it was a rumor from her neighbors, but it wasn't until Zhao Ting was invited out that she confirmed the truth of the matter. She didn't expect that Zhao Ting, who had been with her for over a decade and seemed to have a decent reputation, would be even more crazy than her. It's true that one knows the face but not the heart. In theory, Lin Feng's conditions are already excellent. She has repeatedly lured Lin Feng in secret. But Lin Feng looked down on her and didn't respond at all. Chapter 9. Surrounding Beauty. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Following Sun Yu's gaze, Zhao Ting also saw Lin Feng and the others. She didn't expect Lin Feng, who used to be honest and upright, to undergo such great changes. Various beautiful women surround me, and their figures are even more explosive. This also reminded Zhao Ting of Zhao Jiangwo asking her to undergo plastic surgery. Zhao Ting lowered her head and glanced at her flat chest. A strong sense of inferiority surged in my heart. She asked Sun Yu. Yeah, do you know where to do plastic surgery?" Upon hearing this question, Sun Yu couldn't help but feel somewhat surprised. She knew that Zhao Ting felt inferior because of the beautiful women around Lin Feng and wanted to change herself through plastic surgery. But Sun Yu will not let Zhao Ting achieve her wish. She said lightly. "Ting, you probably don't want to go for plastic surgery, do you? You have to think carefully, plastic surgery is not just for fun." Zhao Ting bit her lip and a hint of determination flashed in her eyes. "I've figured it out, yeah. Look at the women around Lin Feng who are all front and back raised. I want Lin Feng to remarry me, I have to change." Sun Yu sneered even more in his heart. He would never let Lin Feng remarry Zhao Ting. So she thought for a moment and spoke up. "I really know a plastic surgeon, but the price is a bit high. You have left Lin Feng now, I'm afraid you can't afford the cost of plastic surgery." Upon hearing this, Zhao Ting's eyes flickered with a hint of hesitation. But she quickly became determined and said. "It's really not possible. I'll mortgage out my parents' house. As long as it can make me beautiful and make Lin Feng fall in love with me again, I am willing to do anything." Sun Yu's eyes twitched, and she already had a plan in her heart. "Okay, then when you raise the money, give me a call and I'll take you there." Zhao Ting couldn't help feeling a little uneasy as she looked at Sun Yu's expression, which seemed to have everything under control. But she has made a decision and will give it a try no matter what. So she nodded in agreement. Sun Yu took Zhao Ting's hand and a hint of cunning flashed in his eyes. "Ting, let's go over and say hello to Lin Feng." Zhao Ting showed a hint of embarrassment. "Having seen the beautiful women around Lin Feng, I really don't have the courage to face him at this moment." She was worried that her current appearance would make Lin Feng look down upon her even more. This isn't that good, after all, we're already divorced, and I didn't. However, Sun Yu interrupted her before she could finish speaking. "What are you afraid of? If you can't be married, you can still be friends. Let's test Lin Feng and see if he wants to remarry with you." After speaking, Sun Yu pulled Zhao Ting towards the private room where Lin Feng and the others were located. Zhao Ting had no choice but to let Sun Yu hold her, her heart mixed with anticipation and fear. She also wanted to know whether Lin Feng was angry and refused to remarry her, or had completely abandoned her. The two walked to the entrance of the private room, and Sun Yu took a deep breath before pushing open the door. Lin Feng and the others were chatting and laughing when they saw Zhao Ting and Sun Yu standing at the door. They were both stunned for a moment. Lin Feng's gaze lingered on Zhao Ting for a moment, then turned to Sun Yu. "How could you be here?" Sun Yu smiled and pulled Zhao Ting over to Lin Feng, saying, "We are also eating here. When we see you coming in, come over and say hello." Lin Feng responded with a cold face. "Get out, don't disturb me for dinner here. I don't want to see her." As soon as his words fell, Zhao Ting's face changed. She could feel Lin Feng's indifference and disgust towards her, which made her feel very angry and disappointed. She glanced at Tang Weiwei and Li Mei, especially after seeing their plump figures. The jealousy and anger in her heart are even more difficult to suppress. She asked angrily. "Lin Feng, do you only like women with big breasts and buttocks now?" Lin Feng sneered and said directly. "That's right, isn't the fact presented here?" Upon hearing this, Zhao Ting felt even stronger anger and humiliation in her heart. "Okay, you wait, I'll make you look new." After speaking, she angrily turned around and walked out of the private room. Sun Yu saw this scene, but he didn't have much sympathy in his heart. She knew her opportunity had arrived, so she sat down with a shameless expression. She deliberately straightened her towering chest in front of Lin Feng, and then coquettishly said, "It's okay now, the person you hate has left, don't be cold-faced anymore." Lin Feng looked at Sun Yu's pretentious coquettishness and knew her purpose. Lin Feng is quite familiar with Sun Yu, as changing men is faster than changing clothes. Although she does have some beauty, in Lin Feng's eyes, such a woman is dirty and he would never touch her. However, Lin Feng did not immediately let Sun Yu leave. A thought flashed in his mind. Perhaps he could obtain some information about Zhao Ting's family from Sun Yu. If he wants to retaliate against the Zhao Ting family in the future, he will have more cards. So Lin Feng decided to tease Sun Yu's appetite. "Sun Yu, look, it's really inconvenient for me today. How about I schedule a date with you separately another day?" Sun Yu didn't expect things to go so smoothly. She just wanted to give it a try and see if she could get close to Lin Feng. I didn't expect Lin Feng to take the initiative to ask her out alone. She felt a tinge of joy in her heart, but on the surface, she tried to remain calm and responded wisely. "That's what you said. Don't stand me up, I won't disturb you today." After Sun Yu finished speaking, he got up and left the private room. Her heart was filled with anticipation, fantasizing about the scene of being alone with Lin Feng. However, she did not realize that all of this was just Lin Feng's strategy. After Sun Yu left the private room with satisfaction, he left behind a subtle atmosphere between Lin Feng, Tang Weiwei, and Li Mei. Li Mei pouted and said with a hint of jealousy in her tone. "Mr. Lin, you probably love each other when you see them, right?" Upon hearing these words, Tang Weiwei immediately followed the Tao. That's right, we're still sitting here, so you'll start dating other women." Lin Feng watched the reaction of the two and understood in his heart that they were just testing themselves, testing each other's status in his heart. He smiled slightly, with a hint of mockery in his eyes, and said, "It's not up to me to decide whether I can find another woman. It depends on your performance." Tang Weiwei and Li Mei exchanged a glance. They read the same message from each other's eyes. A lone dragon and two phoenixes. After being full of alcohol and food, Lin Feng and his two women fought happily all night in the hotel. The two women also received generous rewards as they wished. "Why didn't you go home?" "Because Lin Feng has a new goal. Sun Si. A woman like her is definitely not something that can be done with money. So Lin Feng doesn't want her to see the scene of beautiful women around her yet." Chapter 10. The Takeout Controversy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day. When Lin Feng returned to the community, he saw Sun Si wearing a flawless white dress from a distance, standing quietly at the entrance of his villa, looking inside. Lin Feng was slightly taken aback, then walked forward and said with a smile. "Dr. Sun, come to see me so early. What's up?" Upon hearing the sound, Sun Si immediately turned around. She saw Lin Feng standing in front of her, with a surprised expression on her face. She thought Lin Feng was still sleeping, so she didn't dare to disturb him. She didn't expect him to come back so early. She smiled awkwardly and said, "Mr. Lin, you left so early. I thought you were sleeping, so I didn't dare to ring the doorbell." Lin Feng smiled and said, "It's okay, I went out for morning exercises this morning and just came back. Are you looking for me so early? Is there anything urgent?" Upon hearing Lin Feng's words, Sun Si immediately took out the car key from her handbag and handed it to him, saying, "Mr. Lin, my car has been repaired. Thank you very much. If it weren't for you lending me the car in time so that I could arrive at the hospital in time, yesterday's surgery might not have been able to proceed smoothly." The surgery yesterday is still vivid in her mind. Lin Feng took the car key and said with a slight smile, "Dr. Sun, you're too polite. It's just a small matter. We're all neighbors, so it's appropriate to help each other." The two of them stood at the door of the villa chatting for a while, and then Sun Si thanked them and left. After entering the house, Lin Feng skillfully opened his computer and quickly fixed his gaze on the stock trend chart. Compared to his previous life, there was no difference in the stock market trend in this life, everything was as he remembered it. His assets have accumulated to an astonishing 500 million, which is enough for him to hoard the necessary supplies. However, Lin Feng was not satisfied with it. He is well aware that being prepared is the most important thing in this world full of uncertainty. So he decided to withdraw only 2 billion yuan for purchasing supplies, and continue to invest the remaining 300 million yuan in the stock market for future needs. Lin Feng specifically borrowed a spacious warehouse from the community security. Next, he embarked on a crazy procurement journey. He purchased almost all possible supplies, including food, drinking water, wood, coal, medicine, entertainment facilities, and fitness equipment. However, he also found that key supplies such as prescription drugs, firearms, and fuel were almost impossible to purchase on the market. This made him frown, but he didn't give up because of it. As supplies arrived one after another, Lin Feng began to get busy. He specifically purchased a large number of shelves and sorted the materials into spaces, and clearly labeled for future reference and management. This morning. Ding ling ling, upon hearing the doorbell ring, Lin Feng knew that there must have been takeout. I walked to the door and opened it. However, the scene before him surprised him somewhat. I saw the delivery man and Aunt Zhao in the community standing at the door, and there seemed to be a dispute between the two. Upon closer inspection, Lin Feng realized that it was Aunt Zhao's grandson holding onto the fast food in the delivery man's hand. "What are you doing? This is not your takeout, let go quickly." The delivery man was so anxious that his face turned red. He dared not pull hard for fear of hurting the child. However, Aunt Zhao unreasonably pulled the delivery man's hand open and cursed loudly. "You stinky delivery guy, this is not your thing. What are you grabbing? Believe it or not, I'll complain to you." This scene was all witnessed by Lin Feng, but he was not angry. He didn't think it was worth getting angry about this little incident. He walked up to the salesperson and said, "Forget it, just one takeout, let's just feed the dog." The delivery man looked at Lin Feng with some surprise, as if he didn't expect him to say so. And Aunt Zhao immediately aimed her gun at Lin Feng and roared angrily. "What are you saying? You actually call my grandson a dog? Do you think having money is nothing?" Lin Feng sneered and responded. "Only crazy dogs would go around grabbing food. Isn't your behavior just like crazy dogs?" His words left Aunt Zhao speechless, and the surrounding neighbors began to whisper. However, Aunt Zhao still reluctantly cursed loudly at the door, her voice growing louder and louder. Lin Feng turned a deaf ear, as if all of this had nothing to do with him. He turned around and returned to the villa, closing the door. After returning to the villa, Lin Feng opened the delivery platform and continued to order takeout. He ordered a lot of delicious food such as fried chicken and grilled skewers, all of which were loved by children. However, this time he specifically reminded the merchants. Abnormal spiciness, add more spiciness. As expected by Lin Feng, in the evening, Aunt Zhao took her grandson and stole all the takeout that Li Yang had deliberately left at the door. After returning home, Aunt Zhao couldn't wait to tear open the packaging of a takeout, handing the fragrant fried chicken to her grandson Xiao Tsong. "Come on, Xiao Tsong, hurry up and eat. This fried chicken is your favorite." Xiao Tsong took the fried chicken, his eyes flickering with excitement. He was already hungry and his stomach was growling. Unable to wait, he wolfed down the food. Aunt Zhao lives alone with her grandson, and her family is not wealthy. She rarely buys snacks for Xiao Kong. But every time I see someone else's takeout in the community, I steal it back and give it to Xiao Tsong to eat. Over time, Xiao Tsong also became accustomed to this way of life of getting something for nothing and developed a certain adaptability to spicy food. In no time, Xiao Tsong ate an entire fried chicken. He wiped his mouth with satisfaction, then suddenly frowned. "See her grandma, it's so spicy." The spiciness began to spread in his mouth, making him feel uncomfortable. Upon seeing this, Aunt Zhao quickly brought a glass of water to Xiao Tsong. "It's okay, just drink some water. Come on, there are also grilled skewers here. Eat more and don't waste them." Xiao Tsong finished drinking the water and the spiciness eased slightly. He continued to pick up the skewers and started eating them. Although the spiciness was a bit uncomfortable, he still couldn't bear to waste this rare delicacy. However, as time passed, the spiciness began to spread in his stomach and he felt a severe pain. "Grandma, my stomach hurts, it hurts so much." Xiao Tsong suddenly shouted, covering his stomach and rolling in pain. Aunt Zhao was at a loss when she saw her grandson in such pain. She quickly hugged Xiao Tsong and gave him a lot of water, but not only did it not ease, but it became even more serious. Helpless, Aunt Zhao had to send Xiao Tsong to the hospital. After a full night of tinkering, Xiao Tsong's condition finally came under control. He lay quietly on the hospital bed. Although his face was still pale, it was no longer the pain he had experienced before.